Live sports are thrilling. The crowd chanting and cheering, the stadium shaking as tens of thousands of people stomp and clap along to We Will Rock You. Touchdowns, home runs, baskets, and goals. Every aspect of these events work to create an environment that can only be done through sports. Despite this, most people opt to watch sports through television broadcasts and streams. The experience of watching a sports broadcast is significantly different from actually attending a game. Field and crowd noises are included, but they are supplemented by commentary from broadcasters, who describe plays as they transpire and provide insights that the common viewer may not be able to deduce. Various camera angles allow the viewer to observe the game from unique vantage points, which are curated, of course, by the production company. Occasionally, digital graphics will also be used to communicate information like statistics or player profiles. At home, the energy and excitement of the crowd cannot be felt, so it must be simulated through these added features. Broadcasts are an accessible and entertaining way to experience sports, and their success has left no reason for production companies to deviate from the standard model of sports broadcast. When the COVID-19 pandemic forced businesses across America to suspend in-person operations, broadcast producers were presented with an option: change the format of sports broadcasts to comply with health standards or cease operations altogether. Unsurprisingly, producers chose to alter their practices to continue operating. In compliance with COVID-19 guidelines, broadcasters were forced to comment on games from remote locations away from the stadium. For legendary football quarterback Peyton Manning, the remote nature of these COVID-19 sports broadcasts presented an opportunity. In response to seeing Kirk Herbstreit work from home on ESPN's College Game Day, Manning proposed an idea for a new type of sports broadcast to ESPN's executives. A broadcast that would allow Manning and his brother to comment on games from the comfort of their own homes. This concept would eventually turn into Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli, or, as it is commonly known, the Manningcast. The Manningcast is an alternative broadcast of NFL football on Monday nights. Peyton and Eli Manning host the show together, but they collaborate from separate locations, Peyton in Denver and Eli in New York. Although the two hosts are thousands of miles apart, their natural chemistry and casual interaction make it seem as if they are sitting in the same room together. With the way the show is set up, the Manningcast makes it seem as if, in Eli Manning's words, Peyton and I were in your living room watching TV with you. Since its inception, the Manningcast has been tremendously successful, garnering audiences of over 1 million viewers every episode following its debut episode. Following the conclusion of its first season, ESPN extended the Manningcast contract through 2024. Shortly after this extension, the show won the Sports Emmy Award for Outstanding Live Sports Series at the 43rd Sports Emmy Awards. The success of the Manningcast is intriguing and somewhat unexpected. The broadcast does not embrace the cinematic nature of traditional broadcasts, nor does it swap this for a more transparent viewing experience similar to attending sports events in person. Rather than watching direct video of a game, viewers of the Manningcast watch people watching a broadcast of a game. This is a similar phenomenon to video game spectating, in which, rather than playing games themselves, gamers watch videos of other people playing video games for enjoyment. In sight versus sound, the differential impact of mediated spectator response in sports broadcasts, R. Glenn Cummins and Colin K. Burke discuss the importance of sound within sports broadcasts. They describe that incorporating mediated spectator responses, or recreated crowd noises and game sounds, to create a sense of authenticity is a tactic that has been used since the early days of baseball radio broadcasts. In some events, like the 2015 College Football National Championship game, over 100 microphones were used for the sole purpose of picking up game sounds for broadcasts. The Manningcast almost completely defies and neglects this element of the broadcast experience, as there is minimal audio from the stadium included in their broadcast. In a way, it is almost as if the Manning brothers' conversation is the focus of the show, and that the football game is just playing in the background. While the Manningcast is somewhat of a pioneer in the realm of sports broadcasts, many aspects of the show are quite familiar to younger generations of content consumers. Over the past 10 years, social media platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok have promoted the remediation and re-examination of content by users. Users take content, clips from movies, videos of singers performing, and even video game playthroughs, and they narrate over it, transforming the original content into something new. For whatever reason, this model has seen tremendous success. One of the most successful forms of this repurposed content is the reaction video, where a user films their genuine first reaction to something and posts the resulting video to a platform. The Manningcast is essentially one big reaction video, with Peyton and Eli and their guests reacting to the football game in real time. As the football game progresses and plays unfold, the viewer can experience the Manning brothers' live, unfiltered reactions to the game. Through this reactionary style, the Mannings are able to create a broadcast that is intimate and raw. While sports broadcasts are not scripted in the same way that a sitcom might be, what broadcasters say is pretty predictable for the most part. Look at games like MLB The Show, Madden, and NBA 2K, which simulate broadcaster reactions using a script and are still able to create a realistic feel. This doesn't mean that the Mannings do not prepare ahead of their broadcasts. In fact, they prepare just as much as any other sports broadcaster. However, they prepare and deliver the information they gather prior to the game in a different way, with the intention of communicating said information in a more casual and digestible manner. Through this unscripted, reaction-based broadcast in which the Mannings experience the game alongside the viewer, the Manningcast is able to create a personal feel that is not present in any other form of sports broadcast. Another reason the Manningcast feels like a personal viewing experience with Peyton and Eli Manning is that the broadcast is similar to a Zoom call. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many schools were forced into online settings where classes were taught through Zoom. Personal interactions became mediated by this platform as the new normal was established. The Manningcast presentation is similar to a person screen sharing during a Zoom call. The physical distance between all parties involved definitely plays a role in how the viewer experiences the game. While Peyton watches the game from Denver, Colorado, Eli watches from New York, and the viewer watches from their own home, all while the game occurs in a separate location. Because each party is separate, the viewer does not feel left out of the conversation. They are experiencing the game in the same way as the hosts of the show. The Zoom-like presentation style of the Manningcast allows Peyton and Eli to interact with each other and the game in a casual manner that would not be expected in traditional forms of sports broadcasts. Rather than bringing in thrilling and excitement-inducing guests like rules specialist Gene Steratore on CBS, Peyton and Eli welcome many guests throughout their broadcasts that often only have loose ties to football. Recently, former President Barack Obama, comedian Bill Burr, and actor Vince Vaughn joined Peyton and Eli for their coverage of the Monday Night Football game between the Chicago Bears and New England Patriots. Though these celebrities have little to no credibility in the football world, Peyton and Eli solicit fan insights that trigger more credible conversation between the brothers. It is important to note that the remote nature of the Manningcast is why Peyton and Eli are able to include so many guests in their broadcasts each week. The inclusion of celebrities and their reactions adds an entertainment factor that is not present in any other traditional sports broadcast. Though the Manningcast is not nearly as popular as other traditional sports broadcasts, its popularity with younger demographics has made it successful as an alternative broadcast. This has resulted in ESPN producing various other Manningcasts for other sports that copy the original show's presentation style. These other Manningcasts include coverage of the 2022 NCAA Women's Final Four with Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, Sunday Night Baseball with Alex Rodriguez and Michael Kay, and coverage of the 2022 PGA Championship with Joe Buck and Michael Collins. With the success of the Manningcast and its various adaptations, I wonder if there will ever come a day that alternate broadcasts overtake traditional broadcasts in popularity. I doubt that this will ever happen, as the familiarity that the Manningcast benefits from with younger audiences is the same type of familiarity that older audiences feel with traditional broadcasts, which they have been watching for their entire lives. Up until the Manningcast, there were virtually no alternative broadcasts, and now that that mold has been broken, I will also be interested to see what other forms of alternate presentations emerge.